Hello, 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 it's Martin here with another property clinic. Make sure you like it, make sure you like it, make sure you join the club that is my subscribers. I got a badges done because I subscribe to Martin Roberts Property Titbits. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Yeah. Give it kind of a club atmosphere. We could start to build this whole thing. It's like you get like points and you get access to like upgrades on flights and cheap meals in McDonald's and all sorts of things, and it just becomes amazing and everyone wants to join and or whatever. Anyway, yes, hi, what was it? Subscribe. That's it. Subscribe to the channel. My brain isn't working very well today. I had a very good day. I say actually. This is not really a diary. It's a property clinic. You're not wanting to listen to about my week, but I will just share one small bit of my week, which was yesterday, because a lovely people at a company called Waddell Packaging in Swindon have just given me loads of money for my charity to enable me to buy or provide a book, Sadsville, to every single school in the UK in the autumn. So I'm dead happy. But we all went out for lunch. Ugh. Well, I haven't been out for a meal for a while, so it was bizarre to go into a restaurant, and it was actually empty apart from us. But yeah, wow, I'd forgotten about going out and dangers of drinking at lunchtime, and it all got a bit scary banana. So I'm on the milkshake day. I've got this milkshake bar open up in the village. This, if people come to the property clinic, for God's sake, Roberts, this is not a picnic sweets. This is a Malteser smoothie. They not only make smoothies, milkshake, whatever you want to call them, it's a sweet shop as well, and they put like whatever sweets you want into your milkshake and then mush it up. So you can have an Oreo fruit cake, what am I talking about? Milkshake? Or you could have this is a Malteser milkshake. I mean, how good is that? I mean, but how about this? What would you have? Like, so I'm trying, how about Terry's, those oranges? Are they, what are they called? Terry's chocolate orange? They must be, because they're oranges. Why would they not be? Anyway, so that'd be good, wouldn't it? Or what about sort of minty, mint chocolate aero, mint choc aero. Anyway, this is the Malteser one. Anyway, let's get on with this, shall we? Thank you for that. About time too. This is a good question. Mr. William Nilly. Martin, hi. If you could invite 4 famous people, living or dead, to a dinner party at Roberts Towers, who would you invite? What a good question. I love these dinner party questions, right? There's lots of ways you can go. Now, this kind of host in me is worried about making sure that the people get on, which is probably not the spirit of this, is it? You just have to pick the people you'd really like to be there. So I think I would have Michael Palin, because I always loved Monty Python, everything he's done. I met him once, he's absolutely lovely. And he's all got all these stories and all these travels and just the Python days. And I think he would just be, I wouldn't expect him to be funny, because comedians often aren't, but I think he would just be a raconteur and people who could, somebody who could talk. So I'd have him. I'd love Sir David Attenborough. I think just to talk about his days of travel. Maybe have him with Alan Wicker, maybe. Remember Alan Wicker? I talked about him a few weeks ago. And they could talk about travel, or you've got to have some music. So maybe something like Jamie Cullen, who could just like play on the piano. And then entertain us in the evening. I'm sure he's a nice guy as well. Yeah, it's a good question though, isn't it? Who would you have at yours? I don't know. I think that'd be fun. Thank you for that, dull boy. Do you consider yourself a handsome fella? Well, that's very sweet of you to ask. I suppose I'm all right. I grew up and I was very fast as a child, and so I never really considered myself to be, well, I wasn't in most people's eyes that attractive. So I'm always constantly still amazed if people do say, oh, good looking bloke. Thank you. Do I consider myself one? Probably not, but hey ho, it's all about what's in the heart anyways. It's not about the looks. Right. Hello, Wendy. I hope you're well. If you were Prime Minister for a day, what law would you pass? Ooh. Well, I think I would make it a law that anybody who's destroying the environment, like burning rainforests or dumping oil or just doing horrible things, can be taken out. So I would pass a law that the SAS and anybody else could go out to any foreign regime anywhere in the world where somebody was doing nasty things to the environment and take it over the running of that place. So we'd have, but it would only be environmental things where animals and plants and trees are being destroyed. And then, you just like, no. And you go in there and go, right, okay, you don't listen to, us talking nicely to you, we're going to start playing hardball. Otherwise, all these things are going to get destroyed in our lifetimes, and it's terrible. It breaks my heart, especially the rainforest stuff. So that's what I would do. GRW, hello. Don't seem like they're very property orientated today. It's just the way it rolls, okay? I'm not writing the questions, I'm just answering them. So if you're whinging right now about the fact they're not property related, I'm sorry. If you've got a property question, well, just write to me. I forgot to tell you, by the way, yes, this is hashtag Ask Marty Monday, and on Mondays you can ask me via my Twitter, which is at Stevie Marty Roberts, your questions. And if you want property questions, then ask me property questions. But I've currently got a lot of non-property questions, so that's the only questions I can answer. TRW, hi. Martin, when you're making a cheese sandwich, do you cut the cheese into thin slices or do you just use a grater? The thing about grated cheese, now I know it's still cheese, but I think grated cheese tastes different to normal cheese, don't you? I mean, maybe it's all like cheddar. You don't get grated Wensleydale, do you? You don't get grated Stilton. It's all just pretty bog standard cheddar cheese. Not that there's anything wrong with cheddar cheese, I love cheddar cheese, but I just don't think that grated cheese tends to taste as nice as normal cheese. So I'm probably cutting it into slices and then putting some really nice chutney on it. Gotta be chutney, gotta be chutney. Sue Taylor, hello Sue. Have you ever got into a property so smelly and awful that you have had to say, I can't actually do this? Yeah, we have had properties literally, normally where dogs and animals have been involved for long periods of time, which are so terrible you just wouldn't eat. I always say, thank goodness it's not smell-o-vision, not as in television. Bad. And sometimes it's just, they've obviously been lived in by animals for a very long time and without being allowed out, and it's not good. So on occasion I do remember. Yeah, and then we do have a hammer golden rule, and that is don't open the fridge. If there's a fridge in a property, we never ever open it, because if you open the fridge, it's usually full of horrible things and they smell like you wouldn't believe. So yeah, so there's a tip for you. Yuck. Doorboy. Hello, Doorboy again. Do you prefer flip-flops or sandals? So, flip-flops or sandals? Well, the thing about flip-flops, right, even after all these years, I haven't quite got the whole way it goes between your toe thing and making that all kind of work. So I actually quite like those quite trendy sort of leathery kind of sandally things with the sort of more like the sort of walking sandals without socks, of course. So if I had to go with that one, I would say that was the case. Gareth. Hello, Gareth. Gareth Thomas. I am soon to build a man cave or a she-shed family room. She-shed, I like that one. I've heard of man cave, never heard of she-shed. Awesome. She said on it. What would you put into your man shed if you built one? Well, I would put an old-fashioned jukebox, and I've still got all my old 45 discs. You're probably going, what's a 45? Do you remember? Anyone remember what 45s are? Like a disc about this big, and all the songs used to be released onto 45s, the singles anyway, so the singles chart, and I've still got loads of them. I would put them all onto an old jukebox, and I just love the drama of a jukebox. Drama, well, just the theatre. When, if you've seen them, the thing goes, it's all very mechanical, right? In this day and age of electronics, we can't see things doing stuff. It's just fantastic to have those things that just do kind of, big mechanical arm picks up a disc, and it lifts it up and it goes, bonk, and it puts it down, and then this old stylus comes along and goes, donk, and you hear it go before it starts playing. It's awesome. So and they can also be really cool. That actually costs a fortune. The old, what's the most famous make? Is it Wurlitzer? No, they're organs, aren't they? Oh, well, I can't remember, whatever. Yes, they're really famous jukeboxes with all the bubbles and the neon. There's probably a picture one there. Yeah, great. Okay, yeah, fine, that's what it is, yeah. Awesome sauce. Because they look really good as well. So yeah, I'd put a jukebox in. Anyway, next. Stephen Carruthers asks, what's your favourite breakfast? Well, depends if I'm being healthy. If I'm being healthy, probably cereals-ish and fruit-ish, yogurt-ish. If I'm being unhealthy, and sometimes it's just so brilliantly wonderful to be unhealthy at breakfast, isn't it? Like a fry-up. I mean, you know, it's terribly bad for you probably, but bacon, sausage, black pudding, a vegetarian's nightmare, fried eggs, you know, oh my gosh. And then the co-op across the road started doing sourdough bread. Ugh, have you ever tried sourdough? Oh wow! Give sourdough a go, but warm it up, right? Stick it in the oven when you've got it from even if it's fresh. Just warm it up for like 10 minits in the oven, and it goes all crusty on the top. It's like, oh my gosh, sourdough bread is amazing. Or if I'm really treating myself, there's something called eggs Benedict. Ugh, you've had those? English muffin, bacon, poached egg, hollandaise sauce. Unbelievably unhealthy, but absolutely yum scrum in your tum. Phil, hello Phil. After 3 months of lockdown, we've got our first viewing tomorrow at our house up here in Scotland. Any tips before they arrive? Well, you have always got to depersonalise your house. Try and make it like so somebody could just see themselves in your house. They don't want to see all your personal stuff there. So not only do you need to declutter, you need to depersonalise. So take down pictures of you and the kids or whatever. You know, just try and make it a canvas on which they could paint their own family life. Wow, that was deep, right? and also just create like a little pack of information about what's in the local vicinity. Like you go to a hotel and there's like a pack of information about, local attractions and whatever. But create something like that. Not only with attractions though, with stuff like local schools or, other things that might be of interest to them. Right, Mark Dean. Hey, a property question. Well, the last one was a bit as well. Would it not make a lot of sense for property above shops in town centres to be turned into flats, and for people to live in they do on the continent? This would also, I believe, rejuvenate our town centres and stop them from dying as they are now. Well, I think that's a really good point, Mark, and absolutely with you on that, 100%. Now, there is, under permitted development, the opportunity to convert offices into flats, and I'm not sure about property above shops. I need to check that one out, but absolutely great idea to turn those things. Stops building on greenfield sites. It keeps people, as you say, in the town centres. And in fact, if you're looking at an investment opportunity, a shop with flats above it is really quite an interesting way to go, because you get income from the shop and you get income from the flats above it as well. So it's a good idea. Okay. Andrew Hayward. Have there been any properties where the final result just takes your breath away? And have there been any where you've gone, what on earth did you do that? Yeah, both. I remember one years ago where every room had been painted differently. Bright orange, bright green, bright purple, black, dark blue. And we went in and the people had bought it and we were going, how horrible is this? Look at this, colours of the rooms. It's like, ah. And we laughed about it and they were going to, yeah, we're going to sort all this out and da-da-da. We went back and all the rooms were still a different colour, but just a slightly toned down version. So, slightly subtle pink and subtle yellow and subtle black and subtle purple, pastel yellow. And it was like, oh my gosh, what have you done? What have you done? And sometimes you do need to take a step back. You do need to go, whoa, right, okay, before I start anything, let me just, and I always invite people to do this, right? If you buy anywhere, don't do anything straight away. Let the house tell you what's needed to be done. And that sounds crazy. The house is muttering to you going, I need a new bathroom. But you just need to spend a bit of time in our house to work out what it is that house needs. Wow, this is from the For the Love of Beer podcast. Woo. Do you have a favourite beer? Whoa. Well, when I was a student, I went to university in Bradford and Theakston's was the beer. And so Theakston's Old Peculiar still has a very warm place in my heart. There were lots of very sticky floored nights with Theakston's Old Peculiar, I shall have you know. But I do quite like these craft beers now. And you can get some quite good deals, actually. Again, the Co-op or the Tesco's, they're like 3 bottles of these stuff for like £5. And Hobgoblin is doing quite well. Old Speckled Hen, I seem to quite enjoy. And there was another one, but anyway, no. So the crafty beers, I tend to go for the darker beers, the more sort of amber, usually quite strong, actually. Oh my gosh, some of the beers is like 6 or 7%. You've got to be so careful because the same bottle of beer can be twice as alcoholic as another bottle of beer. It's the same amount. You get some that's 3.5, you get some that's 7%. So really watch those numbers, okay? But yeah, it'd be one of those. And there's nothing quite like a nice pint of beer on a warm summer's afternoon. Right. Matthew Foster. Hello, Matthew. It's another food question. Martin, rank the following egg varieties in order of your personal preference. Scrambled, poached, fried, boiled, or Easter? Well, it has to be Easter sort of, isn't it? It can't be the Easter egg. There's amazing things, really. Why do we have Easter eggs? Well, I know why we have Easter eggs, but it's like, if you've got Easter eggs left, we've got some Easter eggs left. I've got 2 kids, and everyone buys everyone Easter eggs, and we end up with hundreds of the darn things. But for an average kind of eggy experience, I'm poached eggs I generally ask for. But, sometimes boiled eggs with eggy soldiers, cut into little, what the soldiers is, right? It's comfort food. It's like Heinz tomato ketchup. Well, that's my comfort food anyway. Eggy soldiers. So it's a difficult one, but probably Easter, poached, then boiled. Yeah, that'll do. Julian Smith. Why does it take so long to get planning permission? Well, I guess the planning offices are fairly short-staffed. There are lots of hoops you have to jump through, and in some cases quite rightly. But what I would say is just check out this whole thing called permitted development, okay? Check it out online, permitted development. You might be surprised what you can actually do without getting full planning permission. You always need to have something called building regulations approval, and a lot of people get the two confused. Planning permission is the principle that you can build whatever you want to build. Building regulations approval will always be needed, and that means building it safely, it means building it environmentally, it means building it to certain heat and that kind of energy. That's it. Pinky asks, what's been your favourite ever song to accompany a house footage on Holmes and the Hammer? Mine was Rockin' Robin because the man's name was Robin. Oh, well, the music links are just superb, aren't they? So many, mate. So many. I would say Going Underground by The Jam to accompany a bit about sewage pipes. I think that was outstanding. Stairway to Heaven comes up a lot. The stairs. Yeah, no, you can't go wrong. Yes, it's all good. Stephen Woolwork. Downstairs toilets on a house. Always a good investment to add one. Well, you know what? I would say so. And certainly in certain instances, it's a requirement because it gives disabled access, which is really important. So if you can put a toilet downstairs, I would say, yeah. And just be creative about where you put it. You might be able to squeeze it into a room with a bit of an ensuite. You might be able to put it under the stairs or wherever. Yeah, so I would say that is definitely something worth considering. Final question from Richard Laws. Hello, Richard. Have you ever visited a completed property, or do Homes in the Hammer just send a camera and crew? I used to go to the completed properties, but then just the practicalities of doing it just means that it's just like I can't because I'm filming. Well, hopefully I'm filming. Oh, there is an update, by the way. I am filming my first property after lockdown next week down in Devon. So it's going to be really interesting to see how it goes. I think it's just me and a cameraman. So it's going to be interesting, but I'll take some pictures and I'll let you know how it goes. So right, yeah. So no director, no run over, no researcher, just me and a cameraman in a property in Ilfracombe. So yeah, I'll let you know how that goes. But for now, that is it for your questions. Thank you so much for sending them in. Thank you so much for listening all the way to the end. Love you all, and make sure you like this video. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel and tell your friends if you've enjoyed this. And I will be back with more of this trouble next time.